Weight of Memory, Episode 17, The Attygalle Murder Case, 1906. The dead don't speak, but their estates do. Francis Dixon Attygalle, The Victim of Greed. Pick by lanka.com.au. A Colonial Tragedy. In the twilight of colonial Ceylon, Colombo was a city of horse-drawn carriages, stately mansions, and families whose names carried weight in both commerce and society. Among them stood the Attygales, a dynasty built on graphite mines and coconut estates with wealth stretching across the Colonial district. At the heart of this legacy was Francis Dixon Attygalle, the only son of Mudaliar Don Charles Gamoris Attygalle, a prominent philanthropist and landowner. Following the Mudaliar's death in 1901, the management of the family's vast estate fell to John Colonial Sr., a former police inspector who had married Francis's elder sister, Alice Elizabeth Attygalle. The marriage, born of an illicit love affair, had been controversial and initially opposed by the Attygalle family, but it ultimately brought Colonial into the fold and into the family's fortune. Initially entrusted with the estate due to Francis's minority, Colonial soon faced accusations of misappropriation from the Attygalle matriarch Petronella Attygalle. Legal battles ensued, and with the governor's intervention, Francis was granted venia aetatis, legal adulthood at just 16, allowing him to reclaim control of the family business. But the transition was anything but smooth. Stripped of power and embittered by the loss of influence, Colonial began plotting his revenge. In 1905, he formed the Ceylon, Japan Trading Company and traveled to Japan under the guise of business. While abroad, his former police associates, Singhon Pereira and Baron Singho, allegedly hired a gunman named Pelorus, a Boer War veteran, to assassinate Francis Dixon Attygalle. On the night of December 5, 1906, Francis was shot in the abdomen while standing on the veranda of his residence in Dias Place, Petta. He succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. The investigation revealed a chilling conspiracy. Although Colonial was not present at the scene, evidence pointed to his orchestration of the murder through his former police subordinates. Upon his return to Ceylon in January 1907, Colonial was arrested at Colombo Harbor and charged with aiding and abetting the murder. The trial, held at Hulsdorf under Justice Alexander Wood Renton, became one of the most sensational legal proceedings in colonial Ceylon. Before the verdict was delivered, Colonial committed suicide in Wellicata prison. He left behind a widow and 3 children, including Sir John Colonial, who would later become the 3rd Prime Minister of independent Ceylon, serving from 1953 to 1956. Key sources. 1. Wikipedia, Attygalle Murder. On December 5, 1906, Francis Dixon Attygalle, heir to a wealthy graphite empire, was shot in the abdomen and later died in hospital. The prime suspect was his brother-in-law, John Colonial Sr., a former police inspector who had married into the Attygalle family. After being accused of embezzlement and mismanagement, Colonial was ousted from the family business and allegedly orchestrated the murder. He committed suicide in prison before the trial concluded, leaving behind a scandal that rocked colonial society. 2. Sunday Times. The 1907 Attygalle murder case, the Colonial connection. The case became infamous not only for its legal complexity, but also because Colonial was the father of future Prime Minister Sir John Colonial. 3. Colombo Telegraph. When Giants Clash, the Attygalle Murder Case. This article draws from A.C. Alla's famous criminal cases of Sri Lanka, offering a vivid account of the power dynamics in colonial intrigue